Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Catherine and my channel is KW Shops. So today's video is my top 5 ways of making your high heels a lot more comfortable and a lot more wearable. Now, a few of you have asked me if I'm a model, and the answer is yes, I am. Part of modeling is standing around in uncomfortable shoes for long amounts of time. These are just a few things that I do whenever I can to make that a little bit more bearable and a little more tolerable. Not only that, shoes are my absolute passion. They're my favorite thing to buy. Like, you know, obviously I love handbags, I love clothes, but there's just something about a good pair of shoes that just makes an entire outfit. So I'm gonna get started. Here are my top 5 high heel hacks. The first one is gonna seem a little bit obvious, I'm gonna be honest, but it's very, very important, and sometimes people do seem to forget it. You need to ensure that you have your perfect fit. Now, Obviously everyone knows not to buy shoes that are too small. Also, on the other side, buying shoes that are too big can not only make them uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. If you buy a shoe that is too big and you're, let's say, slipping out of it, you could fall. If you buy a shoe that's too big and it doesn't support your ankles correctly, you could roll or sprain your ankle and you could really injure yourself. So make sure that you have your proper fit for your shoes. Number 2, cut your toenails as short as possible. Cutting your toenails very short will free up more space inside of your shoes, and you'll have just maybe a little bit more room than you would otherwise. That little, I don't know, quarter of an inch really does make a big difference in shoes. And number 3, this is one that didn't occur to me until I started doing ballet and doing yoga. It's a little difficult for me to explain. Have you ever seen girls walking around in heels? They're obviously not used to walking around in heels. Their knees will be bent while they're standing. It's because their ankle isn't adequately stretched. It's really important to be able to stretch your legs out completely so your legs are completely straight when you're wearing your high heels. And it also is going to take less of a toll on your muscles because you use certain muscles to walk in heels, and if your knees aren't completely straight, then you're going to be using different ones and you'll end up getting sore really easily. A few years ago I started taking ballet and I got really into yoga, and I've gotten much more flexible as a result, and I'm going to show you a few stretches here that you can use you want to really be able to stretch your ankle. The idea is to point your toes and have your toe, ankle, and knee all together in one line while you're sitting and while you're standing, to be able to completely, like most people, it will when they point their toes will be a little bit like that. You want it to be completely straight. So I'm just going to show you here in the split screen a few stretches that I do to stretch out my ankles. Obviously this is a process and it's probably not going to happen overnight. You do have to work at it and practice, but it really, really, really does help. Number 4 is to stretch out your shoes. Now, there are a number of videos on YouTube about how to stretch your shoes, and I'm just going to give you my most favorite one. Like, some of them involved using an oven or something, and I'm not going to put my pair of $700 shoes in the oven, I'm sorry. This is my favorite way to do it. It's like the easiest and most effective, and it's not going to damage your shoes at all. Now, we're going to pretend that my hand is my foot. So you're going to take an ankle sock, and this one has a pretty thin weight to it. You don't want to get one that's too thick, but I mean, you don't want to get a stocking exactly either. Just something that's like a pretty lightweight ankle sock. And you're going to take it on remember this is my foot, take it on your foot. Now, one thing to remember is that you do not want to stretch out the heel of your shoe. It is important that it's important that your heels stay in place inside of your shoes because you don't want to be slipping out of them. So you want those to stay very, very tight on your heel, but you do want to stretch out the toe area, the toe box of the shoe. So what you're going to do is double the ankle sock over your toes just to stretch out the toe box of the shoe while leaving the heel area tight. And I'll show you here in the split screen what it looks like. Like I said, I have the sock just doubled over my toes. When I first buy a pair of shoes, I've noticed that generally speaking, it takes me about 3 good wears to actually wear it in and make it form more closely to my foot. So instead of just stretching them haphazardly, the sock actually exaggerates the shape of your foot and it's actually going to stretch out in places where you need stretching, not just everywhere, because I don't know, you want to have it form, you want to customize it for yourself. So when I first buy a pair of shoes, I'll stretch them out this way, and that kind of speeds up the process. You can do it while you're at home watching TV. You just kind of sit there and you just stretch your shoes out while you're up on the couch and not walking around or anything, but it's also really good to walk around in them as well. So maybe while you're cooking or cleaning, doing the dishes, etc. And it just, like I said, it sort of speeds up the process of breaking in a pair of shoes. So then when you do finally go to put this shoe on without the sock, there will be plenty of space for your feet in them. And not only will I do this when I first buy the shoes for a couple of hours, when I decide to wear the shoes, I will put the sock on again and leave them on to stretch them out while I'm doing my makeup or doing my hair. And I'll leave them on for maybe an hour before I leave the house. Tip number 5 is to lubricate your foot. And I use a Vaseline or a really slippery cream or lotion. For example, right now, lately I've been using this lotion from a brand called Ren. They don't really sell it here in the States, but I have been able to find it on Amazon. Right, it's Neroli and Grapefruit Body Cream. It's a really good creamy consistency, and it has a little bit of slip to it, and it smells really, really nice too. And this is after I've stretched the shoes out. I apply the Vaseline or the cream to my toes, and once again, not to the heel of my foot. Here I have my Christian Louboutin Socates in nude patent leather. Now I apply the Vaseline or cream or lubricant all over my toes, but I concentrate it on the outside of my big toe here, the pinky toe area, and also the ball of my foot. This is basically blister block. The first thing that it does is prevent blisters from happening, and I have not had a blister on my feet in years now, and that is simply because I make sure to lubricate my feet before I put shoes on. Now, the second thing that it does is it allows your foot to slide around inside of your shoe, and let's be very clear, I only recommend putting Vaseline on for closed-toe shoes, and especially for patent leather. Suede, I would not use it on suede, but suede has a tendency to wear in a bit better than patent leather does. But with an open-toe shoe, you definitely don't want to be sliding around, so make sure to only use the Vaseline on your closed-toe shoes. I especially like to use it with pointed toe because we all know are the most uncomfortable type. So like I said, you're only going to apply it on your toe area. You're not going to apply it on the heel of your foot, whereas you want it to be able to move around and slide around in here. Also, in my clay, I will keep a small tube of Neosporin. This is just the regular ointment, the clear gel kind. They also make some that are like more of a cream. You don't want to use that one. This just provides just the right amount of lubrication and slip, and you can touch it up if it does start to wear away as the night goes on. I just kind of squeeze it into my shoes while I'm out for the night. And I'm telling you, this trick has really saved my life. I haven't had a blister on my feet in probably 3 years. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope these tips are helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. The shoes that I featured today were the Christian Louboutin Socates, and if you saw my last video, those are the most uncomfortable shoes to wear, and using each and every one of these tips has really helped me be able to wear them. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!